Okay, Coach, this is Coach Simpson. I'm with Coach Steinberg, and I'm excited to have him on. I'm going through, I think a lot of y'all may know, or if you don't know, we're putting out a free coaches, we'll call it a newsletter, but it's turning into a magazine. We've got, I think, 11, in my mind, top tier elite guys that I have gone out and cherry picked, good head coaches, find real smart guys, and they allow them to shine in the areas they are. And so that's kind of the mindset I had with this. And Coach Steinberg was extremely gracious. All of these guys are putting this out to the coaching community free of charge. And so it's just something he had on his heart to do. And I'm really excited to get him on board. These will start coming out in February, and they're going to run two a month through July, and then we'll kind of revisit it. I think that it's going to become something that will be a long-term deal, but we want to, each coach is committed to doing 12 different issues, and Coach has been so gracious to do that. So I wanted to let him, if you don't know who he is, just kind of introduce himself and talk a little bit about his background.
Thanks, Coach. I really appreciate you involving me in this project. It's been fun right from the get-go, and be great to see kind of where this goes. But anyways, my name is Jeff Steinberg, and been a head football coach now for 23 years in the state of California. And I started coaching back in, the years start running together, but 1992, I was an assistant coach in Canada, where I had coached for 6 years at both the collegiate level and high school level there. And my wife and I loved coming to California to visit my brother during spring break. Wearing shorts in March was a pretty cool thing. If you grew up in the Midwest or northern states, you pretty much know what I'm talking about. So from there, I had the opportunity to get a job at a school up in the high desert, Burroughs High School, where I became the first time for myself being a head football coach, developed a staff, a program. We became very successful, ultimately winning section championship and playing at a high level, which led to another job, to another job, to another job. So I've been a head football coach at 5 completely different high schools in the state, and had an opportunity to develop staffs at each school. And the football that we played was pretty good. And that kind of led me to where I am now. I'm at Beaumont High School in the community that I live, where my kids go to school. I've got 2 daughters at the school. So it's really cool just coaching in your own community. And this is really a job or a position that I think that a lot of coaches, would want to be in their own community coaching at the school. And it's an exploding community. The school's growing. And one of the best things, if you coach in the state of California, one of the best things is we're a 1 high school district, and we're going to stay that way, which is very uncommon in this state. So anyways, I guess bio in a nutshell, and just glad to be part of this project.
Yeah, and guys, if you don't know Coach Steinberg, he's got stuff out all over the place. He recently just put on a head coaching academy clinic, just to kind of give back to people, was phenomenal. But in this one, Coach, I recruited different guys. So I found, guys to run offense and guys to run defense. We're going to do special teams, strength and conditioning. We got a guy doing recruiting 101. So trying to cover all the aspects of coaching. We have a football 101 for guys that are new. But Coach Steinberg, I thought about, okay, here's a guy who's been at multiple high schools, been successful at all the high schools. And in order to do that, scheme does matter. But more than that, as a head coach, organization, how you build your staff and how you treat your kids and all of that stuff, that's not talked about enough. And so I recruited Coach to do basically a head coaching 101 kind of section in our, we're going to call it a newsletter, but it's going to be about 40 pages, so more of a magazine almost. So Coach, why don't you talk a little bit about kind of some of your thoughts on that and where you want to go with that?
Yeah, so I really believe that, we all run different schemes, and coaches kind of put their own little spin on things, and everybody has their own brand of football that they play. And we do talk about culture being a very important part of being successful in your program, but it all starts from one point. And I think that is the leadership and the direction from the head football coach in terms of how the program's going to be run and all the different things that you tie in. So the focus of my articles is going to be from a head coach's perspective, the things that it takes to run a successful program. So it's going to be really everything other than the X's and O's. And even if there is an article that does delve into a little bit of the X's and O's, like how do you get to that point of where you're going to develop an offense or a defense. So it really comes from the perspective of a head football coach who wants to provide the leadership and organization for their program.
Good. And I guess so Coach going to do 12 of these, and it's going to be I think it's going to be very important, especially a lot of guys have aspirations of being a head coach and a lot of things don't get talked about. So he'll go through those in the next 6 months coming up here. Coach, I know the newsletter you're doing just out of the kindness of your heart. And I know you've got probably hundreds of other little projects going on because I know you and I've kind of seen. So if guys are interested in other things that you're maybe putting out, what are some things maybe in the works or things that they can go get now?
The whole thing came about from a quote that I saw, and the name of the person who came up with the quote escapes me, but the quote was very meaningful. Really, it's the quote kind of goes to the effect of like, don't ever let a bad situation go by. Like, make the most of a bad situation. And so here we are in this 2020 going into 2021 now, and it was really an opportunity for me to do a variety of projects that I kind of had on the back burner that we kind of keep putting off. And I was like, this is now the best opportunity to do this, to help other coaches out and to help athletes out as well. So I've got a few different things going. I'm working on the creation of a website, obviously, just so I could reach the masses and help both coaches and programs out. But specifically, I have a coach's manual that I've used in my own program right since my first head coaching job. And I'm converting that into a book right now to help coaches out. And so that's one thing that I've got going. I just recently put out a series of quarterback academy courses on video through CoachTube. And that's a five course thing. My dog's coming in here.
Oh, nice.
She's definitely she's an offensive lineman.
Yeah.
And so I've got the quarterback academy videos on CoachTube. I'm finishing up spread and shred offense package as well. That's going to be on CoachTube, and just trying to find different ways that I can help coaches out. And then obviously the head coach academy as well, which was very successful and a lot of fun, and that will be up, I believe, on CoachTube as well.
Good. And Coach, you can follow Coach on Twitter as well. He's always putting stuff out there. The tagline for our we're going to call it a newsletter, but it's just called Headsets. But the tagline of it is, it's for coaches by coaches. And so I would highly recommend, I always do when I go to get resources, there's a gazillion out there, but I try to pick high school coaches that are living it day by day. And Coach Steinberg is one of those guys. And so his stuff will be very, very good if you haven't already kind of looked into it. And we're excited to have him on the newsletter. We'll see a lot of his ideas on that, and excited to have partnered with him, and we'll get the stuff out to you guys as quickly as we can. I'll go ahead.